Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to discuss use of soliloquies in Macbeth. Let's start. Shakespeare's use of soliloquies is an important feature of his dramatic art. Soliloquies are nothing but confession of self. In Macbeth, the important soliloquies belong to the hero and on some occasions to the heroine. These soliloquies are very important to the readers as they help him in comprehending the characters in their true light. In Macbeth, soliloquies are a part and parcel of the drama. Macbeth's aside on my thought, whose murder, yet is but fantastical, reveals his mental working just after the partial fulfillment of the witch's prophecies. We learn from the soliloquy of Macbeth in the first act how he had projected the murder of Duncan. The first soliloquy of the tragedy come in Act 1, Scene 3, where in his own mind Macbeth analyzes his own position. Glimpse and then of Cador, the greatest is behind. The lure of the golden round has begun to work in his mind, and in his heart he is harboring the fatal thought of killing Duncan in order to attain kingship. But the true milk of human kindness, as he is frightened at the thought of taking such drastic steps. The following words bring out his fears aptly. Present fears are less than horrible imagination. When Macbeth is already in the path of villainy and cannot save himself, he says, come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day. For Banco's issue, have I filled my mind, mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man? All this clearly indicate Macbeth's real feeling about the murder he has done, his uncanniness, his sense of fidelity, his heart sickness, and his moral isolation. Before the murder of Duncan, Macbeth is very afraid about the outcome of the heinous crime. He knows that murder cannot be hushed up. It will be revealed by hook or by crook, he says, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deeds in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. After killing Duncan, Macbeth is a broken man. He is aware of his crime. Will all greatest Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? In his famous soliloquy, if it are done when it is done, his moral scruples are prominent. A sense of despair has seized him. My way of life is fallen into the share, the yellow leaf. Now he discovers what a waste he has made of his life. His tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow speech indicates his realization and expresses his tragic sense of isolation. Here, Macbeth is contemplating. Life to him is now a burden. Out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that starts and fits his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. Of course, there are other soliloquies of other characters too. In a soliloquy, Lady Macbeth reveals her husband's nature. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Her soliloquy, not said all spins, shows the depth of her desolation and contrition. In this way, the soliloquies play a very important part in the action of the drama. They are full of great psychological significance. They have given to the play that inwardness, that introspectiveness, that poetic fineness which constitutes the major interest of Shakespearean tragedy. Thank you very much for watching this video. For more videos, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.